Hey y'all, it is October the 25th, 2019. I'd like to thank you for joining me. I appreciate everybody who's going to come through and check out what it is that we got this morning. And to whatever stragglers that we might be able to catch in our web of truth. This morning, y'all, we're just going to go ahead and do another broadcast like we've been doing. And in that, it's the morning time for y'all, people in America at least. They're getting started with their day. Well, we know people all around the world. So who knows what people are doing, and who knows when people do it. All right, but for me, it's kind of a winding down point in the day in which I've seen like all these different articles throughout yesterday and even last night, some of that breaking news stuff, because sometimes stuff happens real early in the morning or like throughout the night. Stuff will happen and then, I'll know about it before y'all know about it sometimes. All right, and so, I can give you a leg up. I can give you an edge over the competition right now, if that's what you're talking about. If that's the kind of stuff that you talking about, then I'm all for it. All right, I see that we got one person temporarily up in the thing watching us, and we'll see how long that lasts. All right, but in the meantime, definitely go ahead and holler at me about whatever it is that is very important this morning. And it doesn't really matter what it is. We'll get down to the bottom of it. We'll get to the nitty gritty, if that's what you like. In the meantime, oh man, we got two people. That's amazing. We got General Shepard. That's amazing. All right, it's a legend in the game. I don't know what the second person is, but dang, I'm delighted that's the second person. Just made GS number 15 from Thailand. Oh yeah, channel number 15 from Thailand. It's like, I don't know if you got rocket boosters over there in Thailand or whatever, but it sounds like you've been stepping up your game. I gotta let y'all know, whoever else is watching, General Shepard be stepping up his game and stuff. I don't know. Howdy, it's AJ Hunter's mama. I know who that is. I do know who that is, just so you know. And see, he's got a different name sometimes. But yeah, definitely, I would definitely tune in. I've been meaning to tune in more to General Shepard channel here on YouTube, coming straight from Thailand, right? Connected all over the world. I know people up in Cambodia, y'all. The thing is, he's been putting in that work, and I forgot what I was going to say. Actually, I haven't been spending as much time on that channel just because I've been exploring the internet. I think General Shepard knows what I'm talking about. Like, there's been new developments, to be honest. And it's just like, now we're becoming such prisms for the news and stuff. We're becoming so keyed in on the news that we want it streamlined. I think we want it quick, fast. We want our news. We want it now. We want to know exactly when it happens, what happens, and stuff like that. But we also don't want to be so connected, sometimes crippling. All right, so we're looking for the best new way to take in the news, the fastest way, the most painless way to take in the news. And, there's been some developments, y'all. Like, I don't know if General Shepard's been, but I'm sure he has been to Band.video. All right, I went to Band.video on my little phone right here on the Chrome. I went on through my Chrome and I went to Band.video, and oh my gosh, we'll take a look at it in a second. I don't know if we already covered it. I think we did a Gab Trends, which is another thing. Trends.gab.com. That's another thing to get hella news. And to get it fast. But Band.video, we might check that out real quick. How did both of y'all in there? How did everybody is gonna come across this video for whatever reason? We're just gonna run through some stuff, man. Some of that breaking news. In the meantime, y'all let me know if there's something important that we're leaving out. But right now, we're looking at a picture of this man. I don't recognize him at all. But it says Durham's investigation into possible FBI misconduct is now criminal probe, and that's according to the Fox News. And this is what they're saying about Durham. I'm not sure. It looks like there's 3 people up in the chat room. I don't know if there's 3. Oh, that's amazing. 3. That's just amazing. Oh, good morning. I hope you. What? Oh, I miss y'all. Or I'm just reading what General Shepard says. Miss Marijuana. Oh, that's messed up. I'm afraid to get high here. Well, I think that's probably a good idea to not do that. Just to follow the law. Wherever you're at, man, you're gonna have to follow the law, probably, especially in these Asian countries. That's what I would imagine. Oh, we got Unwrapped by Brenda. Good morning to Brenda, Unwrapped by Brenda. Up in the house. We got some legends in the game, dude. Thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all help me out as far as what it is we should know this morning, because I know that y'all probably already had a cup or 2 or coffee. I don't know how it goes in Thailand, but I would say definitely follow the laws in Thailand for sure. You know, it's kind of funny. I actually heard about Cambodia. I know folks in Cambodia, like I mentioned. I mean, yeah, so the surveillance state already knows who the heck I know, but I know these folks up in Cambodia, and they say, yeah, there's reefer up in Cambodia. You know, not exactly the quality that you find. Actually, you can find the quality that's available here in America, but it's gonna run you a lot of money up in Cambodia. So it's like it's not as prevalent. You know, it's oddly prevalent. I gotta say, you know, not that I'm in that sort of game or field and stuff. I'm just saying it's oddly prevalent around, especially around here. But I would imagine in the country in general, it's like oddly prevalent how there's reefer everywhere. It's crazy. I don't really think about it. But before we move on, I gotta mention about Durham. I hear his name, I hear Durham, and I heard Barr as far as 2 guys that allegedly, and who's to say, we probably got some 100% hoaxers out in the house right now, but they say that these are 2 guys that the deep state should really be fearing right now, as far as the capabilities of what they should be able to do if they were to do their damn job. And I'm not saying that they will. I'm just saying this is what I hear, that that it's Durham and Barr is who the deep state should be checking up on. I don't know. All right, but I'm trying to keep up with comments because I noticed Xanax in the pharmacy is okay. They got Xanax up in Thailand, up in the pharmacy. That just sounds like a recipe for disaster. No pill popping going on here, and that's good. Wherever AJ Hunter's mama is at, there's no pill popping in that particular part of the world, and that's definitely a plus. General Shepard, I'm afraid of being set up. General Shepard, I gotta. I don't know really much about Thailand, but my gut instinct is that you should be afraid of getting set up. You know, for whatever it's worth, that would be my gut instinct. But we'll find out. Let's play it real cool in Thailand, I think. You know, I got some people up in Cambodia, but I don't know how much it changes from each Asian country, to be honest. I know nothing about that side of the world, except to say that they really love English, dude. They love, and I've never been there. I don't know, but they have. I have heard that they love English. They love talking it. My whole town here in Colorado smelled of pot last night due to the harvesting and trimming. Damn. That's interesting. And I don't know. I don't know what your opinion on that sort of thing would be, Brenda, Unwrapped by Brenda. But I gotta ask, was it a pleasant smell, or was it unpleasant? Because I know that sometimes I'm afraid of being set up. Yeah, you should be afraid of being set up. And that's interesting, man. Like a whole town smell like marijuana. That's kind of interesting. Certain towns, there's be certain towns that smell a certain way for sure. I know Big Spring, it kind of smelled a certain way. And I know like there's towns like, say in California, they all smell like wherever that sriracha plant is. Oh man, that whole town smells like sriracha, dude. And whatever, they're getting that money, so they don't even care. But it's like the whole town smells that way. And that's got to be interesting. And then, of course, if y'all remember that one alleged shooting that I have no idea about, but that Gilroy, you might recall there was a shooting that took place in Gilroy, California. Or you might have totally forgot about it, and I couldn't even blame you, but there was a, And they were talking about the reason that they were having a garlic fest is because apparently like the whole town smells like garlic all the time, you know? Like they be farming garlic all over the place and stuff. And honestly, I like the smell of garlic and stuff. And I don't know that I would not appreciate it. Maybe I would. But I think after a while it would be kind of overwhelming. A little bit overwhelming. So is my small town, small town. Oh, so we're both up in small towns, huh? I used to live in a small town. It's called Big Spring, Texas. Very small. It's not the smallest, but it's still pretty dang small. Much of the population is actually inflated due to the prisons over in Big Spring, like the state hospitals. Like that kind of boosts up the population of Big Spring, and it's kind of small otherwise. But I dig the small town life. In fact, one time I lived in a kind of a small town outside of San Antonio called Canyon Lake, and oh man, it's superb. Just a small town. It's right outside of San Antonio. Just superb. I love small town living, y'all. I love it. I couldn't even get enough of it. I'm kind of like, in a sense, I'm doing what I can and I like it. I like my life and stuff, but shoot, if I can get into a small town, that'd be amazing. And technically, technically in a small town, like in a technical small town outside of San Antonio. I was like, either that's pot or a skunk sprayed nearby, but you didn't even answer the question, Brenda. Unfortunately, unfortunately, do you find that pleasant, or would you think that's not pleasant? We are head out of New Braunfels, Texas in a few weeks. What we are head out of? We are head out for? Oh shoot! Oh man, come through New Braunfels and stuff. That's not too far away, man. What you be going through going down to Schlitterbahn? I mean, it's kind of cold. It got a little bit cold recently. I don't know about that Schlitterbahn. Of course, it is like late October. I'm sure you're not even going for Schlitterbahn as far as New Braunfels. There's definitely things to be seen in New Braunfels and stuff, man. For sure. I forget what small town are you coming from? Like you're headed to New Braunfels, but what is? I mean, or you don't have to name the town. You can name like it's the general area and stuff because privacy first, safety first, everybody. But it's like wait, to New Braunfels and stuff. I don't know if you got family and stuff out there. Asphalt work? Oh, hell yeah. They're getting some asphalt up in New Braunfels for sure. I wouldn't doubt it. I haven't been there for a while, but I imagine it's developing, It's not too many places around here that's not just kind of getting developed. And I'm sure the development is going out to Canyon Lake as we speak. You go up 281 and you find yourself in Canyon Lake after a while. And this little developments. They're trying to fight it back, but it's like a ever growing blob of getting that money. It really is, all right. But also getting diabetes, and that's something to be thought about. I'm not sure if my phone's charging or whatever and stuff, man. I'm taking a look at my battery just so that y'all know. We're not gonna make this too long of a broadcast because I'm winding down my day. I know y'all are starting up your day. But we're gonna see if we can't make it a little bit longer and stuff. My battery is doing little battery things. Anyways, just check this out. I mean, we could talk about asphalt work. I did a little concrete work for a little while in Big Spring. I don't know if I'm pretty sure I mentioned it. I don't know if y'all remember, but I did a little concrete work actually in Big Spring for a few months. As like through a temp agency, and I got into in line with some boys from Alabama. All right. And needless to say, dude, I'm from Texas and everything, but like Alabama boys are wild, dude. Like, I know I say that about a couple different places, but Alabama boys are a certain kind of like, oh man, dang, that's crazy. I don't know if I trust it. Anyway, so we don't want to get too far off on a tangent. I did want to bring up that tonight, I'm just going to do this live broadcast, and I appreciate everybody out there for joining me, and, it's going to join me later and stuff. I appreciate y'all out there. But I wanted to do this live broadcast to see if we can get some news items in and stuff like that. Number one, probably the most important, definitely the most important. I'm going to be working on it tonight, actually. Just going through various monologues of Sheriff Scotty Israel pointing out where like things definitely blatantly either are like misled or a lie or just completely not even congruent with the official narrative, stuff like that. It's just like, dude, like completely all over the place. It's a lot of examples. That's why it's going to kind of take a while just to break down. Like, I mean, he'll do two in one sentence of like just examples of how wrong a sheriff could possibly be. Like, how wrong they could possibly be. All right. Florida Senate agrees with Governor DeSantis, votes to remove Broward Sheriff. And so, the video is going to speak for itself. I don't know if anybody else has got like montages of Sheriff Scotty Israel and the things that he said that really honestly cannot be correct. And why nobody's bringing it up. Like, you notice that like nobody of any sort of authority is bringing that up. Or I mean, maybe I'm missing it because I know that they have long-winded like legal procedures and stuff like this, like the Senate meeting and stuff like that. I did not see it. I want to see a video if I can find it and stuff, but I don't know anything about that. I don't know how it goes, but Florida Senate, like I said, we discussed it yesterday. They went ahead and did the obvious. Told Israel, no, dude, like you really messed up. You messed up a couple times, dude. They got it all in the news too. Like everybody's talking about it. You messed up. And it doesn't matter your political persuasion. You messed up really, really bad. All right. And, see, we already agree, y'all. It's the end of days. But, okay, with that being considered, it's like, wow, this is wild. Like, I didn't think he would have the nerve to do what already he's done, which is to desperately seek his job back. I know for a fact that he could have gotten another sheriff job at another county over. Like, I mean, it would not have been very hard. There's already people who said that they would give him the job as sheriff in other counties. All right. So, like, he should have done that, obviously. Anybody with any sense would have done that. Right? And total shame and total like trying to stay out of the headlines. That's what he would have done, but he didn't do it. Right? Instead, he desperately tried to get his job back, and it's like, okay, maybe everything's a hoax, right? And everything's like, but it's like, if it was a hoax and if he's an actor in this situation, he's not making it any easier on himself. He could have taken the exit and gotten out of the show completely, and that would have been for his benefit. Rabbi Brenda says under 600 in my town. Oh man, under 600. Oh man, what does that even mean? Do y'all have a city hall? Like what exactly do y'all have? Like, as far as 600 in your town. So do you have anything in your town like say a Dairy Queen? Or I know that in certain parts of the country they got Dunkin' Donuts. All right, or they'll have like one thing in a town, and that makes sure that you know that it's a town. So it's all good at first, and it's like a town of 600 people, and like everyone's just reeking of marijuana. That's something else. At first, I didn't like it. So just because I thought growing pot should stay on the down low. What? Okay, I'll keep the government out of it. A lot of jobs. So, it is kind of interesting. I got to say, as an outsider looking in, looking at all the goings on of that particular job in the field and stuff like that. It is kind of interesting, and I could understand why any consumer of any product, like as far as food or whatever you ingest, it's like, dude, we should not want the government up in it just because the government tends to mess it up really, really bad, right? But the thing is, like, a long time ago, they tricked us into thinking, oh man, we got to have someone of authority looking after our food and looking after what we ingest and stuff like that. And so we're like, oh man, we should get the government on it. And of course, they did all this criminalization and like this and that and the other, like many years ago. And so that's what the government did, man. They were like, oh, you just can't have these things. Just can't have them and stuff. And now little by little, they're like, oh, yeah, you can have some of this. You can have some more of this and stuff. Except we're going to regulate it, you see, just to keep you safe, you see. And you're not going to get super addicted off this Oxycontin and everything. We're not going to make all sort of money off you and stuff like that just because we're the government. We just, we're here to keep you safe and stuff. The FDA and stuff like that. It's interesting because if we were as human beings to survive into the future, we would definitely find the FDA and all that other stuff like to be obsolete. It wouldn't make any sense, especially considering the amount of communication that we have at our own fingertips. We could all communicate with each other all across the world. As far as like customer service and stuff like that, reputations and stuff, you could easily do that on the internet, and people already do that on the internet. As far as, oh, this person is a scam. Oh, this person does. I don't know. In the future, it would be a lot easier. I'm pretty sure. As far as the reefer jobs being on the download to keep the government out of it, I was going to say before we move on, because we got some very important news involving Angela Yee. As far as the government, at this point, it's kind of odd, but it might even be beneficial for the government to get involved in a certain kind of way. And the reason I bring that up has to do with these oils. Trust me, I don't have nothing to do with these oils out here, but oils and waxes and this and that. I'm talking about reefer, the oils and the products. Some of them have been bootlegged, and honestly, across the country, like there's been a number of times where people got this bootleg oil and stuff. They mess around and they don't know what's in it, and all sort of stuff. But to include fentanyl, and that's what I heard. I could be wrong, but that's definitely what I heard. Being cut with fentanyl, get up in their reefer oils and stuff like that, and then some bad happens to them. And then later on, it's on the news. They're like, "Oh, these marijuana vapor oils, they're killing people and this and that." Yeah, probably because I gotta say, I don't know where all the oils are coming from. Couldn't tell you. But overseas is a little bit like that. Honestly, I gotta say, from a consumer standpoint, that would be a little bit off the table, I would think, overseas, especially considering China. And I bet you that's where a lot of these bootleg marijuana oils and stuff been coming from. It's probably from China. All right. I'm talking about deadly dangerous, like should and so for that reason, I don't know that the government should get involved necessarily, but from a consumer standpoint, I would say, it's probably a good idea to buy. You know how Donald Trump says, buy from the USA? Probably a good idea. All right. Because it's going to be the USA where you got all sort of holograms on the dang packaging, this and that. You got like certifications and stuff like that will come with it. I mean, they could, as far as regulation, America goes all out already. That's the thing about it. It's naturally go all out. Laugh out loud. Walmart is 1 hour away, right? Right on about the government. Yeah, the government, they just mess stuff up, but they mean to do it. All right. And so, at this juncture, it's kind of interesting. Like I said, I don't know if the government would want to get involved in stuff, man. Honestly, like ideally, if I was Donald Trump, I became Donald Trump right now. I'd say, hey, listen, we're going to leave it state by state, but honestly, you should buy American because, he gets these Chinese reefer oils and stuff like that. You don't know what's in that, dude. Trust me, you don't know what's in that. If I was Donald Trump. All right. So, but we want to get a little bit more into the news before we get on out of here. I don't know how long this can be. Angela Yee, apparently, I don't know what y'all are doing this morning anyways, man. Are y'all straight chilling? Maybe like you're cleaning your house, or maybe you're getting ready for work, or maybe you're riding to work or something like that. Who knows? Who knows what y'all are doing? Safety first. But I would like to know what y'all are doing. Angela Yee apparently unfollows Charlemagne the God after his blah, blah, blah. I think he talked to Gucci Mane. And I understand, but a lot of people probably don't even know one name that I just mentioned right now. Angela Yee, Charlemagne the God, Gucci Mane. These are people... These are people who I know about barely. I barely know about them, but I do know who they are. And it looks like they got alleged beef and stuff, and beef is building up. I couldn't say if that's real or fake, if that may be a hoax, but it might as well be a hoax, because who cares? If they really were beefing, who cares? But also at the same time, if they're hoaxing and stuff, yeah, whatever, man. That's how people make money off this fake old beef and stuff. They're like beefing and drama and the tabloids, and this is how we make money, and this is how we get people's attention. It's like, dude, y'all starve for attention. It's disgusting. I think that's just my opinion. I'm sorry about it, but that's how I feel. We keep hearing this story. This is an ongoing story about these two UConn students arrested for their racial slurs. I want it to be put on blast, actually. I still don't know. I haven't heard them. I don't know if I messed up I don't really want to research it further, but I want someone to put a video out and just be like, this is what they said. Can't you hear them? This is what they're saying. And it's malicious and it's directed at a person violently. And I would take a look at it. But I don't really think that's what happened and stuff. Meanwhile, they're going to jail. They're in jail and stuff. Like, hey, they got caught slipping, I guess. I don't know how that goes. How to protect your home from cell tower irradiation is from Electric Sense. And I don't know if we want to look into that real quick. All right. Just peruse through real quick and see what the heck it is they might be saying. Cell phone tower protection tips. What to do if your cell phone tower is erected next to your home. All right. You got an erection near your home? You better watch out. There's one big difference between cell phones and what? Between cell phones and cell towers. Oh man, what the heck? An ad popped up? Oh man, who knows? They got ads popping up. Suffice it to say, that article probably talks about radiation and how it might be not so good for you, all right? And that being said, maybe there's ways to kind of shield yourself a little bit from the radiation if you happen to be in a bad spot. And so pretty much they're admitting, yeah, this radiation is bad for you, basically. It's hurting you. Anyways, we got some conversations. The town small like pot. It's small and it smell like pot. These towns across America, they're small. And speaking of that, man, speaking of the devil, we got Sanders right here, and he's unveiling a plan to legalize, y'all, marijuana, invest tax revenue into minority business. It's always about a color thing, dude, and it's so simple and disgusting, dude. Like how it's always got to be about someone's skin color all the time. All right. It's like it's just so disgusting. Like, dude, they always have to be thinking about someone's skin color. Like, think of how elementary that is. Like, you always are thinking about someone's skin color. Always talking about legalizing marijuana and stuff like that. Ah, jeez. Why don't you just leave it up to the states? That's what I think. I don't know why someone doesn't just be more official about it. They already said, man, Donald Trump is going to drop that hammer and just say, hey, leave it up to the states. We're going to defederalize this BS. And stuff like that. But I bet you Donald Trump's thinking a lot about this China reefer oil stuff like that. That's probably on his radar to an extent. I don't know how much Donald Trump knows about that world, but it's got to be a little bit on his radar as far as China sending us bunk reefer oils and stuff like that. Trust me, I don't trust him. You should never be so desperate to smoke some sort of reefer oil coming from China. I'm here to tell you, or pretty much overseas. Like I said, by U.S. Anyways, don't trust Bernie Sanders or socialism. All right, never, never ever. Oh man, check this out. Don't be such a chicken about Chick-fil-A. Right? This is two gay fellas. I don't know if I'm sorry if I caught y'all by surprise or whatever. I noticed there's 4 people up in the building. I'm sorry if I caught you by surprise. This is not that kind of a stream, but it just popped up in the Google stream. Says don't be such a chicken, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what they're talking about, but I do know that they've been talking about a lot lately. It's about Great Britain or England or whatever you call it. They got a Chick-fil-A, and it was their very first Chick-fil-A, right? Finally, England had came up and finally got a Chick-fil-A. God bless them for waiting so long. All right, but they finally got their hands on some Chick-fil-A. I know New York City just recently barely got their Chick-fil-A. But just by the skin on their chinny chin did they get it. Just barely got it because the reason why? The LGBTQ PITS movement, they got their feathers all in a ruffle, right? That's what happened in New York, and it almost didn't go through. In the UK, it didn't go through from what I heard. And this might be all publicity stunt and just gay fellas kissing each other all over the place. I don't really want to look at it no more, necessarily. And it's not even just because they're gay. It's just like, dude, I don't want to be so intimate with people. Like, I don't need to be a part of y'all kissing and stuff. When you take a picture of it, like, oh, check us out kissing. It's like, nah, I don't want to. But from what I understand, the UK can no longer have a Chick-fil-A. All right, and that's pretty damn embarrassing. Oh, I from what I understand, it's like a Chick-fil-A or 2 up in Canada. All right, since y'all talking about Canada, it's like I heard. I don't know. I'd have to Google it again and see if there's more than 1 or 2 Chick-fil-A's up in Canada. See, people really need to put their that's the thing about it. We're not talking about gay people necessarily. Nobody cares any less. But the thing is, this LGBTQ PIS. That whole thing needs to be squashed because, dude, honestly, like, people cannot get Chick-fil-A where they're at, dude. Be honest with you. I mean, there's places like, for example, in Africa, I mean, they would be dying for a Chick-fil-A, can't get it because they're in Africa somewhere. And meanwhile, there's like places like the UK that are completely, they got the infrastructure, they got the populations, they got the right consumer base for Chick-fil-A, and yet still can't have no Chick-fil-A. All right. What do they got to do for a Chick-fil-A up in London, dude? What do they got to do? Good night. Good night, General Shepard. You need to get that rest and stuff. I don't know what time it is up in Thailand, but I bet you it's about like 10 or something at night, man. Be careful over there, by the way. They might be trying to set you up in Thailand. I got a weird gut feeling. Charles Barkley, Vice President Pence needs to shut the hell up. Now, people, I can't even blame Charles Barkley because I don't know what he's talking about. General Shepard. Yeah, good night, man. Like I said, get that rest. Hopefully nobody's trying to set you up. All right, I don't think they are, to be honest. I think we're just being paranoid. But 9:18 p.m. Yeah, you are. See, I was about to say in Cambodia it's 9:18 p.m. as well. So I guess it's the same time zone. It's the exact opposite over here. Right, and it looks like you're cutting it out early. I bet you there's like not even electricity hardly over there, right? I bet you there's electricity, but maybe, I like to turn in early sometimes, man. Just sometimes to recharge and stuff like that. Maybe got to recharge a little bit, and I can feel you on that. Vice President needs to shut the hell up. See, Charles Barkley might have even had a point. I'm not sure what he's talking about. And it's like none of my business anyways. It's like they're just trying to drum up beef. 11 hours ahead of New York. Who cares about New York, man? I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody out there who cares about New York, but I don't know. Maybe. Vice President Mike Pence. The NBA is acting like a wholly owned subsidiary. Yeah, in a sense, like by definition, I guess it is because a lot of the players they really can't say nothing at all. They shut their mouth about China and stuff like that. And it's funny how like China became the issue as far as the NBA. Who would have seen that coming? Van Halen, Japanese singles. This is about what all that Google has to offer us, you guys. They have something about Cory Booker. Oh, guess what? Gun violence. He's going to say something about taking your guns. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't really have to watch it, do you? I-35 closed due to 3 feet of water, almost 30 others throughout the country. 30 others. 30 other, I guess, highways closed. I don't know. There's a lot of rain and stuff. There's some rain here last night. I don't know, but I don't know. It's everywhere. Charles Barkley needs to shut up and dribble his fat ass. Maybe. I don't know the context of this whole thing or why Charles Barkley said it. I guess Charles Barkley said that in response to Mike Pence, and the fact that Mike Pence in the NBA said something or other. It's becoming like it's weird how some people, I don't even know if they know it, but like some people might be becoming like representatives for China. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're basically PR people for China or something like that. It's like they're working for China or something. Oh man, it's kind of interesting. Although I don't know the context, I can't call Charles Barkley out right now because I don't know exactly why or how he said it. I don't think I would have a mind. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with the fella. When Barkley played at Auburn, he would eat two 16-inch, 16-inch pizzas and 2 liter cone. And 2 liter cone? You mean a 2 liter Coke by himself? Dang, boy, that doesn't even make sense. I don't know. I don't know why that was brought up, but dang, yeah. I was hoping a Coke. I mean, it would be a 2 liter ice cream cone. That would be something else, bro. But yeah, it sounds like a lot. Back in the day, they did things like that, to be honest, man. When you're talking about the late 80s, I don't know about y'all, but the late 80s and the early 90s, I mean, America the people were walling out, dude, for sure. Public records, it's up in the public records. Oh, man, I want to look that up. But no, I mean, I totally believe it. All right, people were walling out in those days. I mean, in a sense, America was great in a sense at that point. But it just, it could be greater. Needs to do in Miami, blah, 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 this and that. We've seen all that, you guys. We've seen Google, and they didn't really have much to offer us. But like I was talking about earlier, I don't know if we've been through it. We're back on Google. I don't know if we've been through it. I think we went through Gab Trends the other day. All right, we took a look through there. So we checked that out, Gab Trends, right, to see for news. Then we might go back. Well, actually, forget it. We might go back there in a second, but I also wanted to show y'all Bandot Video. If you haven't been to Bandot Video, I don't know if y'all been out there to Bandot Video, all right? And the thing is, I made a video about it the other day in which I was showcasing all this stuff that we're looking at right now. But I think I deleted that video. I didn't even upload it. All right, so there's no record of it. I gotta say, it's taken me a little bit long to even get around to going to Bandot Video. I know Bandot Video has been a thing for a while. All right, and it's took me a while. All right, but I wanted to show y'all. You can get the news from here. I just wanted to show you real quick. My friend in Orlando told me China has bought up tons of property. Hell yeah, China's bought up some property and stuff, man. And they bought up property like in lots of places. I know they bought up they've been bought up a little bit of places here in San Antonio. Hiked up house prices. She works for a realtor company. I wouldn't even doubt it. I don't know how much they own in San Antonio, but I can remember a long time ago. It's been here for a while. There's actually a Sony plant or whatever. That's like the Sony, that company. And I guess they're from out of China, I guess. I think it's China. If it's not like Japan or something, I was pretty sure it was China. I'm pretty sure it is. But I might be mistaken, but I think it's China, right? And so when you go onto the property of the Sony plant, first of all, there's a lot of quirky stuff going on around there. It's always been for years and stuff like that. It's kind of quirky over there. But if you go onto the property, you do have to abide by Chinese laws. All right, you are on Chinese property pretty much for the most part. And I don't know, it's just how much they enforce that sort of stuff. But technically speaking, you better pretend like you're in China. All right, when you're on the property there, and everybody knows that. He was the fattest college basketball player ever, says General Shepard. He might have been. I remember back in the day though, he was pretty dang popular. I gotta say, I'm kind of, I don't watch basketball and stuff, but back in the day, and I was a fan of his style. And it's like there might not be anything bad that I could say about Charles Barkley. I don't know. He said something about Mike Pence, but hey, it's America, so it's like it might have been called for. It might not have been called for. He might be working for China, and that might be the case. And we're about to get to the bottom of it. My friend in Orlando told me China has bought up tons of property. Oh yeah, we already read that. That's crazy. The Sony thing, yeah, it is kind of crazy. And then like sometimes there'd be instances when like everybody's garage door would open like in the surrounding neighborhoods and stuff, and they would like, I don't know if it's happened lately, but they'd have to apologize and be like, "Oh man, we were trying something out. We just opened all y'all's garage doors at once and stuff, and just weird stuff." It's like really, yeah, there's really kind of like it's kind of awkward and stuff. I used to actually practice soccer right outside that place and stuff. Anyways, way back when I was a kid, the fight to protect free speech is happening now. Well, I just want to run through these real quick. Republicans demand transparency in deep state coup. All right. A lot of people out there might be like, oh, everything is an act and everybody's hoaxing and this and that and everybody's colluding just to be like some deep state operatives and stuff like that. And they're all trying to fool us and stuff like that. And I totally understand what you're saying. If you were to say that, I know some people who probably would say that, and that's cool. All right. But at the same time, this is pretty dang interesting. And I want to show you the streamlinedness of it. Lee Stranahan is Brad Parscale being set up. I mean, doesn't that sound interesting? Even if you don't know who those people are, it's like, okay, is somebody being set up? Oh, man. You might have the inside information. You got Robert Barnes right there. I believe it's his name. And he's doing the racist symbol, meaning I hate everybody who's a different race. Doing that international symbol in his hand. So that's controversial. Constitutional lawyer, free speech, free thought. Top attorney breaks down custody battle over transgender 7-year-old. And if y'all didn't know, I mentioned it before. There's a big to-do about a 7-year-old right here in Texas, and I'm sure it's all over the place, where a mom wants to turn her 7-year-old boy into a little girl and says, oh, that's just what this person wants and stuff. And the father's like, no, I wanted a little boy. That's what I got 7 years ago. And so I'm gonna just keep it. I'm gonna keep it as a boy and stuff. Now they're having a big legal struggle. It's like, who saw that coming? I don't know if that's a surprise to anybody out there, but it's definitely trending on like Twitter and stuff like that. Hashtag James Younger be the 7-year-old boy slash maybe little to be girl. That might happen. Report Austin homeless being implanted with trackable microchips. See, these are kind of like, if you were to not believe any of this stuff, it would still be interesting, wouldn't it? Right? Say Alex Jones is making this all up, pulling it out of his ass, dude. It's still interesting. I mean, you're going to take that away from it. All right. Report Austin homeless being implanted with trackable microchips. And the thing is, he's not making it that, dude. We're in the end days, right? But I'm just showing you how streamlined this is. Like, dude, I'm just scrolling through. City of Austin, microchipping the homeless. CNN whistleblower exposes top-down propaganda enforcement. And it just keeps going on and on and on. You start to get more people like Owen Schroyer, for example. But look, it just goes on and on and on. Look how interesting this stuff is, but also just look how it just keeps going and going. You got David Knight. We're cutting into David Knight videos. Just keeps going. It's all pretty interesting. Look, the Pope's environmental Marxism adds pagan fertility goddess. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that up everybody's alley? Like, yeah, everybody wants to know a little bit about that. Got Donald Trump news, the lynch mob and stuff on Twitter, a small dose of sanity, cowboy ropes, and a hog ties a bicycle thing. Isn't that interesting? Come on, man. It just keeps going and going and going. This is Bandai Video. And, like, I'm sure it's good, like, on a tabletop computer and stuff like this. I'm pretty sure it is, but on the phone, as you can see right here, it's pretty damn amazing, right? I mean, it just goes by. Scrubbies, very popular, especially Paul Joseph Watson for some reason. I'm not sure why. It says why the woke establishment hates the Joker. The Joker. Caitlin Bennett, a young lady who, a lot of people, man, that's my favorite. It's like she'll be going to rallies where people are protesting and stuff like that. Ask them all sort of questions. I can't hardly answer no questions, but then you talk to people, see some of these MAGA people and stuff. Hey, man, she's world class at what she does. There's some comedy stuff, Hillary campaigns for 2020. We might take a look at that real quick. But just it goes on and on, right? It's very streamlined. All stuff very interesting about it. It's designed specifically for the phone so that we can get like what we want just very, very fast. So let's see about putting on the volume. I don't know. Probably can't hear it.
President Trump attacking Clinton on Twitter over her emails and taunting her to enter the 2020 race. Clinton firing right back saying, "Don't tempt me. Obviously, I can beat him."
Yeah, that's uncanny, actually. All right, we won't spend too much time. We've already gone over the allotted time, you guys. I didn't really notice. We were having a lot of fun and stuff. If no, I don't know if y'all haven't seen. We might end up on this note. Let's see if we might ended up on this note. But if y'all haven't seen Fentanyl, the Dragon, that's one of my new favorites and stuff, man. It's gonna go pretty dang viral. That's in reference to LeBron James and this whole NBA thing.
Because I mean too much to my two boys here, my wife, my family, and all these other kids that look up to me for inspiration.
Uneducated and stupid.
But Daryl Morey, but I believe he wasn't educated on the situation at hand, and he spoke.
Freedom. No, that give people help. I can tell you.
I'm sorry about that, y'all. Sometimes it's funny. Like, love or hate Alex Jones and stuff. It's pretty dang entertaining to hear him do a Chinese accent and stuff. It's very politically incorrect and stuff. It might get us up into a war for all we know and stuff. If he doesn't stop doing that Chinese accent, we might be up in a war, y'all. This NBA thing is going to spill out all over the place. Don't y'all remember that one time? What is it, a couple years ago? What was it, Indianapolis? And I forget who else. Is it the Rockets? I can't remember. Everybody started climbing up into the stands and everybody just started getting into an all-out brawl with the fans and stuff. Do y'all remember that? It's kind of reminiscent of those times. All right, it's kind of feeling like those times again. right? Where these Chinese operatives might spill out all over us. Anyways, that's all we got time for today, y'all, and I appreciate all y'all for coming through. And like I say, um, we all pretty much know about the same things as far as the news. We're synced up. But at the same time, we got to get away from this, all right? And we got to step back. I don't know. Anyways, I'll holler at y'all later. It's October the 25th, 2019.